Minecraft, a game that needs no introduction, a game where the only limitation is your creativity and Mojang's willingness to create new and actually interesting content. Minecraft, a game I started playing back in 2009 when I was still a young, inexperienced, juicy boy. Minecraft, yeah, okay, you get it. Well, I definitely do need an introduction, so my name is Lonely, and I've been playing this amplified hardcore world for quite some time now, and I think it's time to turn it up to 11 with this massive video. I've never worked on something this big, so if you haven't already, make sure to dislike this video, siphon your comments out of existence, and of course, while you're at it, unsubscribe, because it's about to get quiet like Clyde. And if your name is Clyde, I'm very sorry. Oh, in Hollywood, if you're watching this, I'm always available for an interview. No way, I'll be your narrator for this entire show, and I want you to know that in today's video, we'll work on some of the biggest projects we have ever worked on in this Minecraft amplified hardcore world. I cannot wait to show them to you. So my friends, without any further ado, let's hear a word from today's sponsor. Okay, sorry, I had to. Alright, let's get into the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another lonely hardcore survival episode inside of our massive amplified world. We have quite a lot of things to do, so let's get started right away. Most of what I would love to get done today involves being inside of the Nether, and when I say inside, I actually mean on top of the roof. So the first thing that we're gonna need are some solid blocks. I'm gonna use blocks of iron with a piston, a lever, a trapdoor, and I'm also gonna have to make some sticks to make a couple ladders. And my god, these endermen get inside every single build. We just gotta get rid of this. And I'm also gonna need some TNT, and I also think one more piston with an ender pearl. Now we can make our way down to the mine and see if we can find some obsidian somewhere. And there we go, here's some inside of our old mine, so let's make our way towards it and see if we can convert some of it into obsidian. Here's some more. Perfect, and now all that we have to do is mine a little bit. Alright, and I do believe that 14 should be plenty. So now with this last object gathered, let's make our way back up, and we should probably also sleep tonight, because we're finally ready to make our way inside of the Nether. And I'm honestly more and more happy with this spawn, because we are already at Y level 80, and all we have to do is build a staircase all the way up until we reach bedrock. And here we go. And now, we have to make sure that the block we're trying to clip through is indeed at Y level 127. And this one seems to be perfect. So let's put some ladders down, but before clipping through, it's very important that we write down the coordinates for this nether portal, grab some flint and steel, and now we can break this nether portal. Wow, that just scared me so much. Where did that even come from? There it is. Oh well, let's just eat some chicken. Probably cover this up, just in case this happens again. Now we can finish collecting the obsidian from the nether portal. And now we're finally ready to make our way up top. And my friends, I'm always so nervous doing this, especially in hardcore, because there's a slight chance that we get stuck inside of the bedrock. And if that's the case, well, we are not really gonna have a good time. So wish me luck as I do this, and hopefully not only will we get it first try, but we're also indeed gonna be able to make it. All I have to do is grab the ender pearls, make my way on top of this ladder, and as I'm pushing the W key to move forward, I also have to press space to jump and aim right at this corner, and let's see if we can get it, my friends. Let's do this. There we go. Truly incredible, my friends. And now before doing anything else, I wanna go to the coordinates of our nether portal, which should be right here. So let's quickly build it, light it of course, and see if it connects with the one inside the overworld. And yes, my friends, here we are. I'm so happy that this worked. And now we're finally on the nether roof. So let's go back in the nether real quick, and somewhere around here, we can start breaking some bedrock to actually have access to the nether whenever we want. And so I started breaking so much bedrock, and my friends, I really do not do this often. And this is why I think I had so many tries, and practically all of them failed. I had to go back to the overworld just to grab some items that I completely forgot, and at one point I had to travel pretty far as well to get them. And at one point I swear that the boat moved on its own. I had to grab a lot of sand, of course, to craft all of the TNT that I could, and this also took quite a lot of time, because I wanted to fill my inventory and make enough TNT to keep breaking all the bedrock that I could. And of course you can guess where that led me. That's right, absolutely nowhere. And if you look at my life right now, Well, I came very close to despawning, and eventually I decided to break the block of bedrock that was right by our nether portal, because it was the only one that I knew for certain that was in Y level 127. But of course by doing that, well, I destroyed the nether portal, so I found myself stuck in the nether, and all that I can say is that I'm very happy that we finally did it. It's been around 30 minutes, and I had to resign a little bit, and instead of breaking a ton of bedrock like I first thought, I decided to break the hole out of which you came out of, which happens to be right next to our nether portal. So it doesn't look particularly good for now, but at least from here we can access the nether. And you also may have noticed that I accidentally blew up the portal when trying to make the hole in the roof, because I somehow completely forgot that explosions actually do affect portals. So I guess it's time to find a way to make our way back to the overworld by hopefully finding a fire charge. So let's make our way down. And hopefully we can find some structures around here which contain some nice loot. I really hope we find Nether Fortress, because apparently Nether Fortresses in Soul Sand Valleys have the highest chance of spawning wither skeletons. I think I'm also gonna start putting some torches down, so I know which direction I came from. And we're also slowly running out of food, so it's gonna be an adventure indeed. And here we go, my friends! We just found another fortress inside a Soul Sand Valley biome with a ton of wither skeletons. Before doing anything else, it's time to make a little tower up where we can say hi to them, and who knows, maybe even get a wither skeleton skull. Alright, and now it's time to look for a chest, which hopefully contains some much needed iron. And I honestly didn't think that I was gonna start fighting blazers, so I'm quite excited. And here is our first blaze rod, but for now still no sign of any chest, but a ton of wither skeletons. And while I'm here, I would also love to grab some nether warts, so let's get rid of all the wither skeletons in the area and grab all of these goodies. Alright, my friends, we finally found 2 chests, or actually 3 chests, so let's make sure that the area is secure. There we go, as expected. And wow, there's even a 4th chest right here. So we have plenty of chances to actually make our way out of here alive. Just gonna turn this corner. And yes, that's definitely a lot of mobs. So I think this chest will have to be our last resort. Anyways, let's check this chest first. And yes, my friends, we actually found some iron and even a diamond ores armor. What about this second chest right here? Oh my god, a smithing template, which I never found one of those. Some more nether warts and a beautiful diamond. Let's go towards the last chest, or well, chests, and see what we can find. Some obsidian and even a saddle, and in the second one, some gold, which is gonna come in very handy when trading with piglins. But well, I think that with that, we have everything that we need to get out of this nether fortress for now. And my friends, the path out is a little bit stuck, but I think I have an idea. There we go, this should work. And yes, it works like a charm. Let's attract a couple more. Perfect. And now we should be able to get rid of them with ease. Awesome, there we go. And now I think our exit is somewhere around here. There's a Soul Sand Valley biome, and even a ghast. Now all that's missing before we can actually make our way back home is some gravel, which we can use to make flint, and of course in combination with the iron, to make some flint and steel to light the portal. And if I'm not mistaken, right here, we should find some gravel on the ground. Now we just have to make our way to it. There we go, here's some flint, so let's make our flint and steel, and finally make our way back home to talk about the next project. And that, my friends, was just a tutorial on how to get out of the nether whenever you're stuck inside of it with no flint and steel. It was totally planned, I swear. But now back home, let's get rid of everything that we do not need, and we can use our first blaze rod to make some blaze powder, mixed with an ender pearl to make an io ender, that we can then use to make our very first ender chest. And finally, we won't have to be carrying all our stuff around all of the time, and we can just keep the essentials. And seeing as my food supply is quickly going down, the first thing that I really wanna do, on top of the nether roof, we can't even see it, there it is, on top of the nether roof, is to make an awesome Hoglin Farm, and maybe AFK a little bit around it, to grab some much needed pork chops. So off we go, my friends, to build the first farm of this video in a good old-fashioned time-lapse. And here I am once again. This farm was extremely simple to build. and I really love the design. I think I have the same exact thing on one of my other hardcore Minecraft worlds. And of course I had to climb all the way up to be able to let the Hoglin spawn, and that worked so well that I don't think we'll have to worry about food for quite some time now. And I'm so happy to say that the first project of this video is completely done, and I'm sure that this Hoglin Farm is a great start that will lead us to every other project, cause we can't really work on much if we're starving. Alright, see you next time. Welcome back my friends! Wow, this farm actually didn't take that long in the end, and I'm so happy that it's done. I'm sure most of you know exactly how this farm works, but for the ones who don't, let me quickly explain it, as far as I understand it of course. First of all, we're in a crimson forest biome, as you can see on the top left corner, and we built this little platform with some dirt on the sides to allow us to place warped fungus. The fence on top prevents the hoglins from jumping on the mushrooms, because hoglins are actually extremely scared of warped fungi, so as soon as they spawn, they will move around, realize that there's warped fungi everywhere, except unfortunately, right here next to the lava. So they're gonna run all the way inside of this little chamber to give us plenty of cooked pork chop and leather. I AFK'd a little bit right after I built this farm, but I really wanna show it to you in action, so let me just make my way up. Here we are, and now as I carefully stand on this glass block, we can see exactly what happens to the hoglins, as they pathfind around the platform just to get scared about all the warped fungi, which I think is pretty funny, and it's so scary to be this high up inside of the nether, so let's make our way down. Here we are, and we can finally switch off this chicken for some amazing cooked pork chop. And as you can see in the information box, the cooked pork chop is quite a lot better than this cooked chicken. Wow, this was so much fun to do, and I really can't wait to move on to our next farm. Wow, that's very close. There we go. To move on to our next farm, which is gonna be a massive gold farm. But to do that, we're gonna need plenty of items. So it's time to look at all of this material list and slowly get everything one by one. Oh, and before I completely forget, the Hoglin farm that I built earlier was built with the help of Shulkercraft's video. So thank you so much, Shulkercraft, for this amazing farm design. And the gold farm that I'm about to build was designed by Razeworks, but I actually was watching Voltrox's video when designing it on my own. And of course I made a little modification, and I really hope you're gonna like it. So thank you so much Razeworks and Voltrox for this beautiful farm. And finally there's a little surprise at the end of the video, which was a farm built by Logical Geek Boy. So thank you very much my friend for this awesome farm as well. Alright, let's get gathering. Starting with one turtle egg, which I took some time to gather while building the Hoglin farm. Now we can gather some stone to make some stone cutters and add them to the chest. Some other items include a spruce door, an ender chest, a dispenser, a crafting table, 2 observers, 4 redstone torches, 5 redstone comparators, 4 redstone repeaters, 5 stone buttons, some ladders, some redstone, plenty of deep state brick walls, some deep state tile slabs, 16 spruce fence gates, 22 spruce trapdoors, 47 chests. Now we're getting into the big numbers, 49 hoppers. We also need some spruce signs, and now we can get rid of almost everything because it's time to go on a little adventure to find all the remaining items. And the first thing that we really need, let me just grab this before I completely forget. As I was saying, the first thing that we really need is some slime, and I think I know exactly where to find some. So let's make our way towards the mine, go inside one of these caves, and now it's just a matter of looking for a slime chunk. Let's see how this goes. Alright, based on the world map, this right here should be a slime chunk, so all we have to do is mine it out. And now that I think about it, there might be a better way to do this. So let's just make our way back, craft a shield, wear some golden boots, and I also need 3 buckets for the gold farm. And now with some blocks and some milk, we can leave the things that we do not need, grab our sword and our bow, and now we're ready, my friends, to go grab the materials for a beacon. So let's make our way inside of the nether, where we can go down to the soul sand valley biome, grab a little bit of soul sand. Now we can make our way towards the nether fortress. And wow, I completely forgot about this, but I'm actually recording this right now in Halloween, and skeletons have pumpkins on their heads, which I think is pretty funny. But hey, let's get rid of this guy and also take care of this blaze to get 3 nice blaze rods. And now that we reached the nether fortress, it's time to start hunting skeletons. Also, here goes 1 lava bucket with 3 diamonds and 3 gold inside of this chest, and an incredible view on another nether fortress, but still no skeletons to be found, so let's keep looking. Oh, our smithing template, which I think is the one that we got last time as well. And finally, my friends, a wither skeleton. And they somehow look so much scarier with the pumpkin on their heads. And I'm thinking, while we're here, I probably also want to get some blaze rods, so give me 1 second, just to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And my friends, we finally made it! Our first wither skeleton skull. And with this, we only have 2 to go. And I do believe that spooky scary skeleton is very fitting for today. Here goes our second lava bucket. And hey, why not our third? So now we don't have to worry about lava buckets anymore. And it was time to go back hunting wither skeletons. And if there's something that I love to do in Minecraft, is hunt down those little skeletons. Because it's so simple, and there's really no danger at all to it. Oh no, I did it. Well, my friends, this actually happened. Now we're gonna have to be very, very careful when traversing the Nether, because every zombified piglin will be after us. This means I can't wait to get out of here, so hopefully we find these wither skeleton skulls very soon. And despite trying my best to find all of the wither skeleton skulls, something tells me that they're going out of their way to hide from me. And now that some time has passed, I wonder if the zombified piglin are still mad at us. And no, it doesn't seem like it, my friends, so I guess we're still safe. For now. And finally, with that little zombified pigman accident behind us, I was able to fight even more mobs. And among blazes, skeletons, some pigmen here and there, magma cubes of course, and wither skeletons, I was finally able to find our second skull. Finally got our second wither skeleton skull after just 30 minutes of doing this, so now we're just missing one. And so I kept fighting, and why not fighting some more? And I guess the bright side, with all of this fighting, is that we got plenty of loot from Nether Fortress, so I don't think we'll have to come back here for quite some time, at least until I decide to make a wither skeleton farm, which, who knows, could be coming one of these days. Finally, my friends, after so long, we got our 3 wither skeleton skulls. So because we're already being shot at by a blaze, let's make our way out of here. There we go. Alright my friends, here we are back inside the overworld, and I just realized that I'm missing some shoes. So let's just put our diamond boots back on, and now before calling this adventure over, let's add the 3 lava buckets inside the gold farm chest, make our way down inside of the mine, dig a very long tunnel, dig a bigger room, just to be able to place down the soul sand, and the wither skeleton skulls, my friends. There we go. Down to half health, so it's time to continue with the sword. We're so close, my friends. I'm trying my best not to get withered. And there we go. Finally got ourselves the Nether Star. What an adventure, my friends. I'm so happy that it's over. Let's just clean this place up a little bit and grab all of the handy things that the wither mined for us. And of course light everything up to make sure no mobs can spawn. There we go. Now we can make our way back home, leave everything we do not need, and now I'm just missing 2 obsidian, so let's go grab them real quick. There we go. 12 should be fine for now, and we can finally craft our beacon. And with this newly acquired treasure, let's grab some iron blocks. 3 stacks should be more than enough. And I would also love to make a smithing table, place it down right here, and finally add the rib armor trim to our leggings and our diamond chest plate. I really think we earned it, my friends, after fighting all of those wither skeletons. And it's the first time that I do this, and I think it looks absolutely incredible. But now we can make our way towards one of the slime chunks, and I just remember that the mini HUD mod can actually show the slime chunks all around the world. And this right here is a little too close to our big wooden village, so let's go a little farther. And now that I think about it, it might actually be better, due to this massive amplified world, to look for slimes inside of the ocean. And this looks like quite a crazy spot, so let's grab some glass, make our way towards it, and now roughly in the middle of one of these chunks, we can make our way down. Mine a little bit of an opening. Make a tiny beacon to help us mine the opening. And we can slowly build the full beacon. we can destroy this beacon and place it one block higher to finally activate Haste Power 2. There we go, my friends. And now we can finally insta-mine some part of this chunk to hopefully get some slimes to spawn. And of course I can't forget about lighting the whole area to also give the slimes enough light to spawn. And I think it's also time to make a staircase all the way up. There we go, finally reached the ocean. Now we can add some glass right here to get rid of the water. And now I think I'm gonna choose a little spot right here and start digging out the area. And we even found a glow squid. Alright, I think that's a pretty big room, so now my hope is that if I make my way up, back inside of the ocean, and maybe a little farther, maybe even build a big pillar, then slimes are gonna start spawning. But for now we're not getting very lucky. Now I know that I only need one slime ball, but there's one little thing I've been wanting to do for a very long time, and it's a farm that requires a little bit of work beforehand. So let's grab some sand, make some more fences, make a water bucket, and of course fill it with water. Now we need to smelt a little bit of glass, make a few building blocks, and of course we're gonna need a hopper and a chest. There we go, the glass finished melting, so now we can make our way to all of this cacti, get rid of it. There we go, and now somewhere around here, we can start building our very first cactus farm. And yes, here I am making the cactus farm. This took me a little bit of time, mainly because I didn't know whether I wanted to build it or not. But honestly, once it was done, it was an awesome addition to our hardcore world. And of course, this cactus farm marks the completion of the second awesome project in today's video. So we can put it right here, next to the Hoglin Farm, and very soon, work on the third project, which I must admit is one of my favorites. Alright my friends, there we go, a little cactus farm, which already started producing a little bit of cactus for the project that we are about to complete. Next up, I have to get some sponges, which means that it's time to raid an ocean monument. And this is probably the most amount of adventure that I've ever recorded in a Minecraft hardcore episode. So let's put back everything that we do not need, and I also just doubled the amount of chests inside of the storage room, because as you can see we're starting to get pretty full everywhere. But now it's time to make some lanterns, grab some doors, and some milk, and of course our handy sword. And now with a full belly, we can take the boat and make our way towards the ocean monument. There it is. Alright my friends, let this adventure begin. And oh my, what an adventure this was. Of course, I had mining fatigue right from the start, and it took me so long to find those Elder Guardians. I think I found the first one pretty quickly, but the second and third one took me such a long time. And just wait until I tell you all the rewards that we got for this massive effort. Well my friends, I defeated the 3 Elder Guardians, and I looked all around the monument, but there were no sponges to be found. So for now we just have 2 wet sponges from defeating the Elders. And luckily we have an ocean monument right next to the one we just went to, so we can try our luck with this one, and see if we can get at least 1 stack of sponges. So I decided to raid a second ocean monument, get rid of all of the Elder Guardians, which now that I found them in the first ocean monument, took a lot less longer than I expected, but... well, unfortunately, there goes the last guardian, and still no sponges to be found. At least I guess we have 5 from the elders that we fought. Well, there's one other ocean monument in sight, so let's see if that's the lucky one. Yes, my friends, here are some sponges, so now it's just a matter of defeating the elder guardians in this monument as well. And I'm running quite low on doors right now, so hopefully we'll achieve this task before the doors run out. Here's our first Elder Guardian, and our 5th door used, so just 4 more doors to go. There's our 2nd Elder Guardian, and now we're just missing 1. And finally our 3rd Elder Guardian right here. There we go, my friends. And with our 3rd monument raided, we can finally drink some milk to get rid of the mining fatigue, bring out our diamond hoe, and probably take back some of these doors, and go hunting for some sponges. And just like that we got 40 more sponges. Let's see how many more we can get. And before I completely forget, let me grab this treasure, so that we can get another trophy from raiding these ocean monuments. Here's another room full of sponges, which brings us up to over 1 stack. Alright, and I believe this is the last room containing sponges. So now with nearly 1.5 stacks of sponges, we can make our way back home. And finally back home, let's make our way inside of the Nether to dry off the sponges. Now we can pick everything back up and go back to the overworld. Now all we have to do is grab a bunch of sand. Hi, narrator lonely again. I just wanted to mention that among many things in Minecraft, collecting sand is probably my favorite, just because of the way it falls and the way it sounds. And now with the sand gathered, we're almost ready to build this farm, but to commemorate the 3 ocean monuments we just raided, I thought it'd be pretty cool to give ourselves a nice little tight armor trim. So there we go. Oh yes, my friends, looking better every day. Well, now with this done, let's start building this massive slime farm. Let's cue the time-lapse. And here we go with the longest project of this whole video, which was building a massive slime farm. I had to go back and forth to collect sand, to finish tracing the outline, and of course I had the fun task of removing all of the water. And that's exactly why I got the sponges from the ocean monuments. And then layer by layer, I was able to drain these whole chunks, and if you're wondering, that's 5 whole slime chunks that I drained and of course dug out. And when I was looking at it, I didn't want the sand to be there forever, so I exchanged everything with some glass, and I think that now it looks much better. And of course, as soon as the glass was in place, it was time to dig everything until Y level 0, which is where my patience for digging completely stops. Because even with an efficiency 5 diamond pickaxe and a haste 2 beacon, deep slate is probably the worst block to mine, and it's really a shame because it looks wonderful. And that's why I decided to use it to build the layers of the farm. And as you can see on the left side, I made a little pattern using green glass, which I got thanks to the sand, and of course the Cactus Farm that we built earlier. So if you think about it, I made a farm to make a farm, which is farmtastic if you ask me. Anyways, I completely forgot to count the platforms, but if I had to estimate, I think it's around 13. So I had to go back and forth to collect as much deep slate as I could. But anyways, bit by bit, I was able to build everything back up, and of course build a really cool collection system that connects everything together. And I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but I left a ton of videos at the end of this video to showcase everything that we have done. So if you'd like to check it out, you should definitely stay until the end. And although the slime farm looked pretty cool as it was, I decided to add a little flair to it by gathering even more sand and gravel to make black and yellow concrete, which I then used to decorate the exterior of the farm to make it look like a little construction site. And with all of this done, my friends, we have finally completed the 3rd project of this video. And if you wanna take a little break to grab something to eat or drink, and of course let me know which one of these 3 projects you liked most, well, you can do so now. I'll just wait. Alright, time's up, because we have to get started on the next secret project of this video. Welcome back everyone! Well, I can't even begin to describe how long this took, but how happy I am that it's completely done. Let me show you around a little bit. First of all, let's sleep the night and go check out this farm. I decided not to add any roof, just because I love the idea of this black and yellow concrete to be here for a very good reason. As if we get too close to the edge, well, we're not really gonna have a great time. And by the way, this is actually 5 days for me since I started the project. This thing takes so much time that if you haven't already, it would be awesome if you subscribe, so that we can make this lonely YouTube channel much more awesomer. I think the best way to show this farm is to make my way up to the AFK area, which takes a little time. Here we are, and now I can enter my free cam, so my body stays up here as we go all the way down to look at all of this slime spawning. And if you haven't seen during the time-lapse, this thing is absolutely massive. We're actually looking at 5 slime chunks, all connected together into one water stream that leads to these awesome soul campfires, and into a water elevator that brings the items all the way up towards our collection system. Let me know what you think about this farm, my friends. And of course, if you have already seen a slime farm that is bigger than this, I would love to know. Well, now we can make our way down, probably by jumping all the way to the water. And I also would love to show you all of the materials I gathered when digging this giant hole. And yes, every single chest is completely full. We have plenty of stone, a ton of cobblestone as well, and many other items here and there. Which means we shouldn't have to worry about mining anytime soon. But my friends, although I'm very happy with this slime farm, it's time to move on to the next project. And we're very close to having all the items gathered to build a gold farm, but among a ton of magma blocks, I am also missing a lot of glass. And let me tell you, my friends, smelting it with a couple furnaces here and there takes quite a long time. And as I was gathering all of the deep slate for the slime farm, I created a massive tunnel that I think would be awesome to turn into a super smelter. I'm gonna have to find a creative way to have some nice inputs and outputs for the items to be smelted, and of course the fuel, but I think that if we add a little structure in the middle of the ocean, it should actually do the trick. So let's start gathering some materials to work on the super smelter, starting with of course 9 cobblestone stacks to make 1 full stack of furnaces, which we're gonna use to smelt 1 stack of item every single cycle. We're also gonna need a bunch of redstone and iron of course, and some sticks, and as soon as I find it, there we go, some quartz as well, to make all the items we need for our super smelter. To make these minecart loading and unloading stations, I'm gonna be following an amazing video by Recrypt, so thank you very much Recrypt for this amazing video. It's extremely helpful to have these stations. And of course another thing that I'm gonna need a ton of is some wood that we can gather from these tree orchards. Now let's see if we can craft the basic items, for instance some chests, to make some hoppers. I'm gonna need a good 3 stacks, there we go, 1 for the fuel, 1 for the input, and 1 for the output. And now with these remaining dark oak logs, we can make some sticks to make 2 stacks of rails. That's a lot more than I hoped. So we can put the excess right here. And now if I have some gold, there is some, but I'm gonna need a lot more so that I can make some power rails. So let's melt all the gold that we do have, and as we're waiting for that to smelt, we can already make 2 minecarts, 2 chests with 2 hoppers, and of course convert both minecarts into minecart with hoppers. There we go. And now this should be enough gold to make all the power rails that we need, plus some redstone blocks. And now give me 1 second while I check the items that I need for the minecarts loading and unloading stations. Alright, it looks like we're gonna need a bunch of redstone torches, some redstone repeaters, and some redstone comparators. And of course I cannot forget my 2 observers and the dropper to build the water elevator that's gonna lead the items from all the way underneath the ground to a little build above the water. And I'm probably gonna make some more chests, including a bunch of hoppers, so that I can build a little platform where I think the item should come up. And right here should be great. So let me just put all the items that I do not need for now, and also get rid of all of this kelp. That's just gonna be extremely annoying when trying to build. Perfect. And look what we have here. What do you have to sell, my friend? Oh wow, packed ice, which is exactly what I was about to look for. So you sir stay right there as I go grab the necessary emeralds from our trading hall. And thank you, we'll take this right away. And now we have 6 packed ice, but I think I'll need a little more to make the water stream from this platform all the way down towards the beginning of our super smelter. And I don't think there's anything else that I need. So with our Silk Touch pickaxe, we are ready to venture towards a snowy biome where we can hopefully get some more ice. And finally, my friends, after over 20 minutes of searching, we finally found an ice biome. Let's gather as much ice as we possibly can and then go back home. Alright my friends, and with over 9 stacks of blue ice, I think we're ready to make our way back home. This is gonna take some time. And finally back home, the wandering trader is still there, and he has absolutely no idea that I actually went to his supplier to gather my own packed ice. And now if I calculated this correctly, we should be able to craft our 2 remaining blue ice to give us almost 9 stacks and a half, which we can put right here. But my friends, now without any further ado, it's time to build the super smelter once and for all, so I'll see you as soon as it's done. And then I'm thinking we can build this little structure together. Alright my friends, let's do this! And so the first thing that I really wanted to do was understand the logistics of this super smelter. So of course, like any sane person, I made a bubble elevator and followed it up with basically building the whole super smelter. And it's honestly quite simple, just consisting of a bunch of furnaces with 3 hoppers going inside each furnace. And I think the hardest part of this whole build was figuring out a way of sending the hopper minecarts at the correct time with the correct amount of items inside of them. And of course I had to extend the whole platform on top to allow for enough space to make the super smelter accessible and fun to use. But that also meant that I had to dig 3 massive holes and fill them with hoppers. And that's only because I was too lazy to figure out a way to build an item dropper inside of the ocean. So there go another 3 stacks of wood that I'm never gonna get back. And of course, as soon as I finished the drop chutes for the items, I built a nice water stream that led directly to the beginning of the minecart with hoppers. And honestly, my friends, although this took such a long time, I am so happy with the way that it looks and all the complicated logistics around it, and of course, even happier with the fact that now we can smelt one stack of item every furnace cycle, which I don't really know how long it is in seconds. And this, my friends, was completely necessary for the next massive thing that we're gonna build. And after making the collection system, I can confidently say that the fourth project of this video is completely done. So we can also leave it right here with all the other projects. And you know what? Before moving on to the sixth project, there's a little thing that I would like to do for this super smelter. Oh wow, my friends, this took a lot longer than I'm willing to admit. I had to create this whole input and output system, which meant connecting every single thing down with a hopper line, all the way to some water streams, which would bring the input item inside this hopper, and then of course be distributed by these hopper minecarts. Now this loading system is not perfect, but I think it's gonna work just fine, while making sure we do not lose any items. And of course all of these items get smelted and sent to this dropper right here, which shoots them all the way up. But as you can see, my friends, this place doesn't look particularly good. And although I don't worry too much about the whole furnace setup underground, I would like for this little build to be a little more aesthetic. So before we start building, I think it would be a good idea to look for these chests and gather all of the items that we want to smelt. Alright, I think that's everything. So let's just turn this block of raw copper into actual copper and place it inside of the chest. Same thing with this iron, this clay and the sand, and of course the gold. Now I just gotta turn these ores into the raw versions of their iron. So I just wanna grab my fortune pickaxe, place down these ores, and now start mining everything down. And the view is very nice from up here. There we go, all the items are being converted, and we're already getting so much copper. So now, as all of these items are smelting, let's grab some materials and see how we can make this super smelter much prettier. Now I wanna start by getting rid of some more kelp, just to make it much easier to build. Now I wanna expand the platform a little bit. Now I think I'm gonna make some deep state pillars and connect them all together. Now I'm gonna make a handy stone cutter that we can put right here next to this chest. And now we can make some deep slate brick stairs. And why not use some of this copper, turn it into copper blocks, and then into copper stairs that we're gonna be able to use for the roof. And now we can start placing the stairs down. And I was thinking about having two stairs, a block on top, and continuing like this. Now I have to do the same exact thing on the other side. And we can complete everything with an upside down... Nope. With an upside down stair and a stair on top to give us this extremely nice but crooked pattern. But that's just because I probably misplaced the block. Give me 1 second. There we go, much better. Now let's repeat the same thing on the back side. Now all that we have to do is add the stairs on the sides, and I must say I really wish I had Swift Sneak right now. But hey, maybe we can get it later. Alright, now that the deep slate has been put in place, it's time to connect everything up with cut copper stairs, and of course blocks as well. Alright, there's the roof, and I'm actually really hoping that once this copper oxidizes, the combination between dark green and black are actually gonna look pretty cool, because I must admit that for now, it stands out quite a lot, and not really in a good way. But let's keep working on the walls, and I think to do that, I'm gonna need some andesite, calcite, and maybe also some diorite. So let's make some polished andesite, and of course some polished diorite, and we can use the polished andesite to create an interesting trim all around the build. And I'm so happy to see that practically every single thing we put inside the chest has melted, and I think the only thing really slowing us down right now is probably the fuel, but we're gonna take care of that in the future. Now we can probably use some of this melted glass to make some glass panes, which we can use to make some interesting windows to cover the walls of the build. Now I think it's time we add a layer of stone and andesite, which is gonna fade into diorite, and then calcite. which looks something like this. And looking at it, I might actually extend the windows by one. And I never do this, but let's see if we can turn these windows into fancy bay windows instead. Although they look much better, I kind of wish they were more further apart. So let's do that real quick. Oh yes, much better. And despite having taken everything down and done it again, I completely forgot to move these windows. So let's go ahead and do the same thing we did on the other side. Beautiful, just like that. Now I think it's time we made a couple deep slate tiled stairs, and I just noticed that these bay windows do not line up. So well, let me talk a little bit about the details, and then I can fix this once again. Anyways, ideally we have 3 blocks between each bay window, so we can put some deep slate tiles, and some stairs, and of course slabs, to smooth everything out. And there we go, my friends. With just a couple more details, this build is already looking much better. Now the only thing missing is to fill in the gaps right here. And I was thinking, because we have some birch, let's try to fill it with a combination of straight birch logs and birch planks, and see how it looks. Alright, so I do like the way it's looking, but it's definitely missing a little bit of detail inside. And I think with this beautiful little design, this whole building is completely done. And I do kind of like how it's not really connected to anything, and the only way we can get here is by the water. So I think for now I'm gonna leave it like this. Now I would love to add some extra storage here and there, because we can't really ever have enough. I think I'm also gonna get rid of all of the stuff inside of these chests, and instead put it in the chest I just placed, to make everything look a lot better. And finally, even the interior is completely done. And now, my friends, there's a couple things left to do before we're actually able to start on this massive gold farm, which is first of all gather enough coal to be able to supply the super smelter for a little bit of time, and of course grab a bunch of sand to smelt into glass to use for the gold farm build. Well, let's do that, and I'll be right back. And the first thing on my list, of course, was more sand, to make as much glass as I possibly could, to make sure that I didn't run out when building the farm. And although we just built a massive super smelter, I had absolutely no fuel left, so I mined all around to collect as much coal as possible, and used the flat terrain next to the Cactus Farm to mine it all down. Of course, I had to collect so many magma blocks, and yes, I encountered so much lava, but alongside mining sand, I must admit that mining magma blocks and netherrack is also quite a lot of fun to do. I just put some videos and zone out for a couple of hours. And last thing I knew, my friends, I had collected every single thing that I needed to work on the 6th project of this video. Oh hi, I didn't see you there. As you probably saw during time lapses, I had a little bit of time to not only gather sand and coal to smelt sand into glass, but I also gathered a ton of magma blocks. So my friends, I'm so happy to say that we're finally ready to build this gold farm once and for all. I'm so excited because this project took such a long time, and among building the cactus farm, getting the beacon, building the slime farm, and of course this massive super smelter, it's safe to say that we did a lot of preparation for this. So my friends, I hope you're as ready as I am to build this massive gold farm. And by the way, I'm gonna be leaving links to all of these farms in the description of the video, alongside our lonely Discord. If you'd like to join it, you're more than welcome, so we can talk 24/7. Alright my friends, let's do this! And here we are, my friends, with to date one of the most complicated farms that I've built in this hardcore world. Although I took this design online, I made a little adjustments to it. The biggest thing that I changed was the collection system, because I really didn't want all of the items that the zombified pigmen actually drop. After having built the collection area and the XP area, I towered all the way up to start putting these magma blocks to good use. there's something that took me such a long time, it was getting the golem where it had to be. And my friends, I really must admit, I love building with blocks, but working with entities, including any mob in the game that I cannot attach to a lead, is quite a struggle. But after some back and forth, I was finally able to put the golem where it had to be. And of course I worked on a massive platform. Now for the ones who do not know, this whole farm is in a nether waste biome. And because magma blocks damages every single mob in the game, except zombified pigmen, they are the only ones you can spawn on them. And the size of this platform is simply the radius where the pigmen can detect the turtle eggs. And my friends, with this gold farm build, I am proud to say that the 6th project of this episode is completely done. So we can put it right here, next to all the other projects. Welcome back my friends! Here we are, more than 3 hours later, and I'm very happy to say that the gold farm is completely done. Let's go check it out, shall we? Just gotta make my way over there. Here we are, and now we can climb up until we reach the top. As I might have mentioned earlier, although this design is from Raceworks, I put a little twist to it by adding my very own storage system, which only accepts gold nuggets and throws everything else inside this lava. And as you can see, this thing has been working very well, so let's make our way to the 2nd floor, which is where the magic happens, and gather all of the XP that has been sitting here. There we go. And of course I put here an ender chest, where we can grab all of our items, for them to be mended very fast, and of course some anvils, to add any enchantments that we need. So give me a couple minutes, as I mend all of our tools, and then we can move on to the next project of this video. Beautiful my friends, and just like that, all of our tools have been completely mended. So we can put everything back inside the ender chest and just take the tools that we need. And seeing this thing working is truly fun, as the piglins spawn, make their way towards the iron golem, and inevitably fall to give us plenty of XP. But my friends, I spent so much time here already that I would really love to do something else. And that something includes spending even more time in the nether to gather all of the netherite that we need to finally make ourselves an awesome netherite armor. And of course all of the tools. I'm pretty sure I have everything that I need, so we just have to make our way down. And now that I look at it, I would love to put a crafting table right here, so that we can turn these nuggets into gold ingots. And of course from gold ingots into gold blocks. There we go. Now we can make our way down by jumping, of course, because we're very intrepid like that. And now back to the portal, we can make our way down to the nether, as far down as we can. If I remember correctly, the best Y level for ancient debris should be Y15, so what do you say my friends? That we make our way towards a nether waste biome and we start mining a ton of ancient debris. And something that I'm gonna do is turn off all of the particles, and this makes mining through netherrack so much easier, because I don't have to worry about all the particles every single time. Anyways my friends, let's get mining. And there we go my friends, our first bit of ancient debris. Let's go ahead and pick that up right away. So we have it in our inventory, and yes, hidden in the depths indeed. I'm excited my friends, so let's keep going. Oh, and by the way, to actually convert all of our tools and armor into netherite, we need exactly 1 stack of ancient debris, which is what I hope to be getting right now. But because we're mining, I'm gonna try to get a little bit more, for rainy days. Alright, let's do this. Finally instead of the nether wastes, so we can make a long tunnel and mine horizontally just like this. And oh my god, quartz looks so much like ancient debris when it's on the sides. I feel like this is gonna happen more often than not. Oh, and to make this even easier, I decided to add a little texture pack called Visible Ores that allows me to easily see all of the ores inside of the game, so we make 100% sure not to miss any ancient debris. There it is my friends, some more ancient debris right here, and I feel like I'm getting very unlucky with lava right now, so I really have to watch out. Alright, and with this tunnel dug, we just found one more piece of ancient debris, so let's dig another one and keep digging. Second tunnel completely dug, but unfortunately no luck. And by the way, if you know of a better way to look for ancient debris, let me know that in the comments. I would love to know how you do it. And our first pickaxe is about to be broken, so I think it's time to replace it with another pickaxe. There we go. Now let's keep digging. There we go, finally one more piece. And 2 more right next to it. And I think I'm actually gonna move the ancient debris from my inventory to my hotbar, so that we can easily see how many we get. Oh yes, here's one more, just one for this one. Oh yes, here's one more, but it's right next to lava, so hopefully we can grab it with no problems. There we go, and I don't think I saw a second one, so we should be completely fine. And right next to it, two more. And I think this pickaxe too is starting to be at the end of its life, so let's get one more silk touch pickaxe, keep it inside our inventory, but actually use a fortune one instead. And now that I think about it, I might just add all of my pickaxes inside the inventory, because it's gonna make switching pickaxes much faster. Finally, here's two more, and I see one more right here, make that two, but conveniently covered in lava. So let's try to get him. And unfortunately we just got one. There we go, one more right here, and we're nearly halfway there. Some more, one more right here, make that two, conveniently found some more inside of the lava, so let's try to get them both, make that three, and now I'm actually wondering if I have more luck finding ancient debris next to lava. So despite it being extremely dangerous, let's give it a try, and we should probably also change our pickaxe, so that we can keep digging. And I didn't mention this earlier, but when building the slime farm, I was actually able to break 2 diamond pickaxes, so I'm really trying my best not to break anymore as I mine for ancient debris. Finally some more, and we need just 10 more to reach our bare minimum. A little more right here, so 9 more to go. Finally some more, which brings 7 more to go, and 1 more right here, so 6 more to go. 1 more pickaxe down, and some more ancient debris, which means 5 to go, and 4 more to go. Oh yes, my friends, 3 more to go, and 2 more to go. Finally, my friends, here's one, and of course 2. And I know I said just a couple minutes ago in the video that I was gonna look for more than 32, but I must admit, it's been over an hour, and I'm kind of ready to put this ancient debris to good use. So let's make our way back home, to grab a couple things that we're gonna need to get the Netherite smithing templates from the Bastions, which is a new feature in 1.20 that I've never tried before, so I'm quite excited to raid some Bastions and see what we can find. There we go, my friends, finally back to the Nether portal. So let's go to the overworld, where we can drop everything that we do not need inside of the ocean, and I should probably sleep the night. This is what happens when we spend too much time inside of the Nether. Perfect, beautiful daytime. Now I know we built a massive super smelter recently, but to make sure everything gets melted correctly, let's put this ancient debris inside of this furnace and smelt it with some oak slabs. Just because I put all of my coal inside the super smelter. We can leave everything that we do not need inside this chest, and now with the help of 4 gold, it's time to make some golden boots, which we can use to replace our regular boots, and we can also put all of the broken tools inside the ender chest and pick it back up. And last but definitely not least, I wanna craft a nice shield so that we don't have to worry about all of the hoglins. Because my friends are about to go to a bastion, which are usually located inside of a crimson forest. And now that I think about it, I probably want a full stack of pork chops, just in case things get a little bit rough. And with this done, my friends, back inside the nether we go to locate the bastion. And wow, that's a lot of netherrack. I wonder how it got there. Here we are back inside of the nether, and of course I also wanna grab my sword and my bow. And now we can make our way back down inside of the Soul Sand Valley biome, and I'm pretty sure that I saw a crimson forest somewhere around here. And yes, here we are, with a ton of hoglins of course. So let's get rid of some of them, because I really do not want any trouble. Perfect, and now I just have to hope that we're gonna find the bastion pretty soon. And wow, my friends, I decided to go the opposite way, and what do we have here? An amazing bastion. Now it's just a matter of understanding how to get to it. So I think for now I'm gonna replace my boots with feather falling, so that I can jump down and not worry about hurting my feet. And you know what? Maybe there's even a better way to do this, which involves going back up, back inside of our staircase, where I can actually try to connect our portal to the bastion with a tunnel. Alright, let's see if this works. Alright, if I'm not mistaken, these should roughly be the coordinates of the bastion, so we can start making our way down and see what we can find. Alright, here's the Crimson Forest, and the bastion should be right there. There we go. Well, now we're definitely much closer, but we do have to find a way to get to it in a relatively safe way. So I'm gonna make a little stair right here that extends on top of the lava, on top of this tree. Perfect. Now we can make our way around with another little pathway onto another tree, and now we can keep going forward until we successfully reach the Bastion. But I think it's time to get rid of some hoglins. And I must admit that between the brutes and the hoglins, I don't really know which one is the worst mob in the Nether. But let me just make sure that this pathway extends correctly all the way to the Bastion. And here we are, my friends. So now the first order of business would be to get rid of the brutes. And although I would love to do that with my bow and arrow, these bastions are way too tight to really be able to see anything. But what I'm definitely gonna do is get rid of these piglins, because they're definitely gonna try to get rid of me as soon as I open any of the chests. Alright, well here we go, opening our first chest, where we indeed have a smithing template. And I can hear a piglin brute somewhere around here, so let's see if we can find him before he finds us. And I'm also gonna grab all of these goodies and leave everything that I do not need inside of this chest. Just making my way down slowly until I find another pathway that we can take, there we go, to look for more smithing templates. And my god, these guys pack a punch, my friends. It's time to eat some food, and hopefully there's not a second one in sight. There we go, my friends, finally the smithing template we've been looking for, the Netherite upgrade. So let's grab everything inside of this chest and keep looking for some more. Alright, I just read a little something about armor templates, which I had no idea. So let me quickly make my way back home, and we can talk about the next steps. And trust me, if you didn't know, you're gonna be as astonished as I was when I read it. Back towards a little pathway, and back inside of the tunnel, and finally back. What are you doing here? By the portal, let's go to our house, actually grab a little bit of netherrack, which I'm happy didn't yet despawn. And now, because we should have a couple diamonds here and there, let me show you this amazing trick. With a crafting table, I can actually duplicate this netherite smithing template using diamonds and netherrack. So let's do it a couple times, until we get the 12 that we need. Perfect, my friends. And I know this actually uses a ton of diamonds, but in my opinion it's much better than risking my life inside of the bastions. And this also means that I really have to watch out when I get new smithing templates, and instead of using them right away like I did before, I should duplicate them and always keep at least one. And since our boots are the only ones that do not have an armor trim yet, we can grab some gold and add the snout armor trim in honor of this Bastion adventure. There we go, looking better by the day. And checking on our ancient debris, I should have probably grabbed some coal, which I just now realized I have a little bit here. So let's add that to the furnace and wait for everything else to smelt. And of course I also want to smelt all of this gold inside of our super smelter so that we can get some more. I just counted all of my tools, and unfortunately with 32 we won't even have enough to cover all the basic tools. So I'm afraid I'm gonna have to go back to the Nether to gather a little bit more ancient debris to really make this whole trip worth it. Alright my friends, see you in a couple minutes. And here we are, my friends, had to gather 20 more ancient debris, but finally that's completely done. So I'm happy to say that we can finally craft all of our netherite ingots. And they just look so beautiful. So now inside of our ender chest, let's grab everything that we wanna convert into netherite. Alright, this should be it. And I'm happy to say it's exactly 13. So let's put our netherite ingot and our netherite upgrade inside the smithing table. And now one by one we can convert everything into netherite. There we go, my friends, we're now covered in debris, and of course I saved the best for last for our total dedication. And now we can finally put back this beautiful armor and look as awesome as ever. And now, my friends, with all this amazing netherite gear, I think you know what we have to do. So let's get rid of some of these tools and place them inside of this chest so that we can free up space for some more mending books and some more unbreaking books, which we're of course gonna use for our elytra. Because that's right, my friends, it's time to finally fight the Ender Dragon, so we have to get as ready as possible. Alright, my friends, after a little bit of gathering items, I think I have everything that I need to get inside of the end. Let's do a quick checklist to make sure. We have a lot of rockets, a ton of building blocks, the necessary food, and of course plenty of fighting tools, a crafting table just in case, a water bucket and some ender pearls, and inside of the ender chest, we have plenty of enchanting books, more tools and chests to make the shulker boxes, some wood just in case, some more tools, and of course the stone cutter to turn all of this cobblestone into slabs to make it much easier to traverse the end. Now of course the only thing that I'm really missing is some blaze powder and of course some more ender pearls, which hopefully we can find in some of these chests. And unfortunately not much luck, so let's check inside of the super smelter. Nothing either, unfortunately, so I think it's time then we make our way towards a warp forest biome, back inside of the Nether, to get all of the ender pearls that we need. And I'm very happy to say that I already found one when I was looking for some warp fungi for our Hoglin Farm. It's just a matter of going through this tunnel and fighting some piglins here and there. Now we can make our way down, and we are inside of the forest, which also happens to be right on top of another fortress. But we already have everything that we need from the fortress, so now what we really need are some nice endermen. Here's one, which gave us 2 ender pearls, and I think I need at least 1 stack. Here's one more, let's see if it's gonna come to us. Oh yes indeed, and I really wanna try my best not to hit the piglins, so that's another 3 ender pearls, and yet another enderman, which should appear any second now. Come on my friend, you can do this. Meanwhile, we can say hi to another one, and another one as well, and I don't think this guy gets the memo, so let's see if we can go to him, while also attracting some more endermen. There we go, and we already started a 2nd stack, so I'm gonna see if I can get 2 stacks instead, and I have no idea why I just got that advancement. It could be because the piglins found the golden sword on the ground and decided to trade for it. Let's see what they gave. Nothing at all apparently, so let's get rid of them before they get rid of me. And now we can keep looking for endermen. There's one more right here, and another one right here as well, which hopefully didn't just fall into lava. Oh, and a lot right here as well. And here's one last one, which finally brings us to 2 stacks of ender pearls, so we can make our way back home. There we go, back inside of the tunnel, back by the portal, and back inside the overworld, where we can finally craft a boat, make an Eye of Ender, and see where it goes. Well my friends, we have a direction and everything else that we need, so let's go finally find that end portal. Alright, it just went down right here, and if this is the case, it means that there's a stronghold right underneath our village. So let's pick a spot and start digging down. I have no idea how far I have to dig, but I guess not really that far at all. Here we are my friends, in this crazy stronghold. And now that I think about it, I should have brought some torches, but I think we're gonna be fine. I'm just gonna steal 1 torch, put it in our offhand, and now we're ready to look for this end portal. And these rooms are just massive, with plenty of scary mobs. And I think this stronghold connects to the mineshaft, which means that there should be even more loot here and there. But we should probably loot the place some other time, because right now all that matters is to find that portal. And yes, my friends, here it is, finally. So let's break the spawner, and apparently we're missing 11 ender eyes. So it's time to make 10, put them inside, and create the end portal, which always looks so weird. Well my friends, this moment was bound to arrive sooner or later, and I don't think we can be more prepared than we are today. So with all of these items, what do you say we jump in and finally defeat the Ender Dragon to free the end once and for all, and also get the elytra of course. And 3, 2, 1, let's go! Perfect my friends, we already have to do some bridging, so let's make our way towards the end island so that we can start fighting. Here we are my friends, first thing you wanna do is get rid of some of these crystals, and here's our foe. 2 crystals down, 3 crystals down, and now 4, 5, 6, 7, and now we need to get the ones in the cages. So let's make our way up, and I'm also gonna put my ender pearls on my hotbar, just in case things get spicy. Alright, we're almost there. There we go. I always want my hunger to be full. But now we can get rid of this crystal right here by climbing all the way up. There we go. And now I think we're just missing one, which is this tall one right here, which I tried to get with some arrows, but unfortunately I had no luck. So let's make our way to the top. And unfortunately it wasn't here, because we actually destroyed all of them, my friends. So with this ender pearl, let's make our way down and start fighting the dragon. There we go, I think it's coming down, and usually when it comes down it starts charging at us. So I really have to watch out. There it is, perfect, we're able to dodge it. So all we can do is keep shooting. And it's perching once again, so we have to watch out for the charge. And here it comes. Perfect. Let's see if we can get some more shots in. And I don't think the endermen are doing much damage, but I'm happy that for a little bit of time, they're actually on our side. Alright, and it's perching once more, so I really have to watch out for the charge. And here it comes. Perfect, dodge once more. Oh, we're so close, my friends. Just a couple more shots. I really have to watch out for the dragon's breath, because it deals quite a lot of damage. Come on, my friend, come closer. More dragon breath incoming, and I hope that soon it's gonna start perching, so that we can get some more shots. Alright, always gotta keep my hunger to full. Oh, my friends, there's so much dragon breath on the ground. I think he's not particularly happy to be almost at 0 health. And now it's perching, my friends, so it's actually your time to deal the final blow as soon as he starts charging at us. And there we go, my friends. We're finally able to free the end. Let's go right here to gather as much XP as possible. And of course, before jumping inside of this portal, there's a very important thing that we have to do. So let's look for the first end gateway. There it is. Now we can make our way towards it, build a little safety perimeter around it. And now I'm very happy that I brought the crafting table with some wood, so that we can make some trapdoors and use them to get inside of the gateway. Here we are, my friends. And now for the best part of Minecraft, we have to scour the end to look for our first end ship. And I really don't remember the last time that I was inside the end, but it was definitely a long time ago. And I think in the distance, I see an end city. Now the biggest question is it actually gonna have a ship? So let's bridge towards it, and hopefully nothing bad happens. And every time that I'm bridging towards the void, my hands are so sweaty, because I never know if I'm gonna slip and fall. So hey, hopefully that does not happen. And my friends, it's an end city, alright, and it happens to have a ship, which is probably the first time since I play Minecraft that the first end city I find has a ship, which makes this world quite special. But well, let's keep bridging and make our way towards the end city. Alright, here we are, and I'm gonna make my way straight to the end ship so that we can beat its guardian and find the treasure. There we go, my friends. The city at the end of the game is finally ours. Now I just gotta wait for levitation to end, get rid of this little guy, and there it is, my friends. As awesome as ever, our elytra. There we go. And now the sky truly is the limit. Now let's check inside this chest to see if there's anything interesting. And I think I'm gonna leave everything here except the diamonds and the gold. So now, my friends, let's equip our elytra and give it a little test flight. Wow, this is truly wonderful, my friends. I really missed flying so much, especially in an amplified world where everything is so hard to reach by foot. Well, now, my friends, I would love to get some shulker shells, to get some shulker boxes that we can use to store all of our items. Alright, and with 3 shulker shells, we should be able to grab some chests and make our first shulker box ever, which I wanna use to put all of these items right away, so that our inventory can breathe a little bit. And now we can look for some more. And I just realized that there's one thing I missed, which is quite a big deal. Is an anvil to put all of the enchantments on the elytra. So what I'm hoping for is that somewhere in this end city we can actually find some iron. And there it is, my friend. Some iron just as planned. And wow, this room has so many shulkers. So I think it's time to put back our chest plate and make sure our hunger is always full. Alright, and now we're ready to fight. Alright, and with 20 shulker shells, I think it's time we look for another end city. Let's try our luck over in this direction and see what we can find. And my friends, I really can't state how happy I am to be flying right now. It's gonna make working on massive projects, and of course gathering items and exploring, so much easier. If anything, I just hope I'm gonna find another end ship before our elytra breaks. Or if anything, some more iron to craft an anvil to put all of the enchantments. Let's see what this end city has to offer. Well, here's some more iron, which is great, and I think I need 31 iron ingots to craft an anvil, so hopefully we can find some. And we're not actually missing much, so we just have to keep raiding all of these end cities. Alright, my friends, I think there's no more chests inside of this end city, so we're gonna have to find another one. And hopefully the next one we find has an end ship. And of course I'm keeping a close eye on my elytra, just in case it loses durability. And yes, my friends, here we have another end city with an awesome end ship. So let's go straight to the ship, and there's another one right there to grab the elytra. and see what's inside these chests. Alright my friends, now we don't have to worry too much about the durability of our first elytra. And we can also keep looking for shulker shells by fighting all of these shulkers. And I must say I really love this big room full of shulkers, because it allows us to get so many shells, despite being quite a challenge. Alright, let's see what the other end chip has to offer, aside from the elytra of course. Some more iron, and even more iron, which means that finally, with our crafting table we can craft 3 iron blocks, and of course an awesome anvil. And now with our ender chest, we can grab 2 mending books, and 2 unbreaking books, and of course put them on our elytras. There we go. Now we can pick this up, the ender chest as well, and the crafting table. Oh, and I somehow forgot we actually have 3 and not 2. So let me just take 1 more unbreaking and 1 more mending book, and put it on this elytra as well. There we go. And now hopefully the experience that I get from defeating all of these shulkers is gonna be enough to mend the elytra. And here's some more nice loot that we can bring back home. And my friends, I actually see 3 end chips in sight. So let's go check them out, shall we? We have already been to one of these, but I completely forgot which one. So let's try this one. Alright, yeah, so this one was the one we already went to, so this one should be the new one. Let's see if that's the case. And yes, my friends, another elytra, just for us. And even a spire armor trim, which I can't wait to duplicate. Alright, so I want a little more shulker shells, so we can get a full stack, and after that we should be ready to go back home. Alright my friends, there we go, 1 stack and a little bit more of shulker shells. So now we have to find an end gateway to go back home. I think I'm gonna go towards this direction. And here's another end chip where we can hopefully steal an elytra from. There we go. And grab some more nice loot. And now we can keep moving forward. And that's probably one of the smallest end cities I ever saw, which I think is pretty funny. And I think just for now I'm gonna increase my FOV to make sure that I do not miss any end gateway that shows up. Or of course any end cities. Here's another elytra, and I think it's time that we put some of this loot inside of the shulker box, so we can free up some space in our inventory. Alright, now let's check out the other end chip and grab the elytra from here as well. There we go. And we can keep looking for the end gateway, which hopefully is not too far. And yet another end chip, and I don't mind if I do. There we go. And this brings us to a total of 8 elytras. Oh sorry, did I say 8? I meant 9. There we go. But still no end gateway to be found. So I guess we are lucky, but also a little bit unlucky. And here's another end chip, which means another elytra. And I think it's time we make another shulker box to put all of the remaining items. And I would also love to grab some more rockets and some more food. And now we can keep looking for this end gateway. And here's another elytra, and another one right there. Oh, and before I leave, I definitely want to grab a chorus flower for some nice chorus fruit. And before I completely forget, in the next end chip that we find, I also have to grab the dragon head. And I might have completely forgotten to take the dragon egg, but that's alright, as soon as we get back inside the end, we can grab it. Well, my friends, over 10,000 blocks away, and still no sign of any end gateway. But here's an end ship where we can grab that dragon head. Alright, this should be enough blocks, so that we can mine it down. And of course I can't forget to grab the elytra as well. Perfect. 1 more elytra, with 1 more right here, with another one right here as well, and another one, and another one. And 1 more smithing template, which is always great. But can you guess the only thing that we still haven't found? That's right, an end gateway. And we're approaching 15,000 blocks, which is quite the achievement. And will you look at that, even more end cities. With some elytras, and 1 more elytra, and 1 more of course. And 1 more. And my friends, I cannot believe my eyes. Finally an end gateway. We can turn our FOV back down to 80 and try to make our way inside. Here we are! And of course, before I completely forget, I would love to touch the ender dragon egg. Now with the help of a torch, we can mine underneath it and grab it for the next generation. And now we're finally ready to go back inside the overworld and experience the end of the game. But trust me my friends, this series is far from over. And because another thing that I completely forgot before going inside of the end was a bed, we are now back at spawn. No issue though, we can quickly make our way back to the village using our amazing elytra. My friends, I'll see you when we get there. And wow, our village looks truly incredible from above. But finally my friends, here we are back home, ready to look at all of the loot that we gathered inside of the end. And there we have it my friends, 22 elytras, which is a lot more than I expected to get, a ton of shulker shells, and of course a lot of precious items like diamonds, emeralds, gold and iron, and even 2 smithing templates, which means that we should probably use some diamonds to dye our leggings with the spire armor trim, which looks truly incredible. Well my friends, with the end ender dragon defeated, and the elytras acquired, there's still a couple things that I'd love to do before ending the episode. And my friends, if you like this kind of content and haven't already, go ahead and subscribe. I would really love to have you around, and leave a little comment as to what you would love to see next episode, so that we can work on these incredible projects together. And well, my friends, the first thing I'd love to do, after having freed the end, is to get one of the final enchantments of the game, Swift Sneak 3. And to do that we have to look for an ancient city. And I don't think I found an ancient city yet, and I must admit I'm quite scared to tackle them. Because despite having fought the Wither, the Elder Guardians, and of course now the Ender Dragon, I think the Warden is probably the scariest of them all. But with the elytra it should be very simple to do so. So let me gather some items, and we're gonna be ready to look for that ancient city. Oh, and when you weren't looking, I fixed the slime farm a little bit by adding magma blocks on the sides. And I also updated our loading and unloading stations, just to make them fit more with our design. Alright my friends, I grabbed a couple items, mainly torches, more rockets, and some ender pearls just in case things get more dangerous, but I think now we're ready to look for an ancient city. And the best way to locate ancient cities is to first of all find a snowy biome. Oh, and before I completely forget, I wanna show you a couple changes that I made to the slime farm, because I added a row of magma blocks all across the rim. I noticed that many of the big slimes, because they cannot get in a 2x2 hole, had to wait for the iron golems to notice them before being able to drop down this tunnel. But now, they actually take damage consistently, so this farm is even faster. There we go. And don't you just love phantoms? Not today, sir. And I also worked on our super smelter, because the minecart loading system we had before didn't really work for this design. So I had to change it to something a little more complicated, but that definitely works much better. So every single furnace lights up, and we're really maximizing this 64 furnace array. And last but not least, I was losing so many items, because as they came up the water elevator, dolphins kept stealing them through the blocks. So I added some extra blocks on the sides to make sure this doesn't happen again. And you'd be surprised the speed at which dolphins can actually get items. But now everything should work correctly, and I was able to smelt a ton of stone into smooth stone in less than 2 minutes. And the last thing that I did, as I was gathering all the items for the ancient city, was AFK all night at the gold farm to acquire 214 levels, and of course a ton of gold for a secret project. But more about that at the end of the video. But without any further ado, let's look for that snowy biome. Oh my god. I'm out of here. And I don't know if I mentioned it earlier, but it's so awesome to finally be able to fly in this amplified world. And now everything is so much easier to reach. And we just found an amazing village on top of a mountain. But for now I'm trying my best to stay focused on the task at hand, which is indeed to find a snowy biome. The next thing that I want is some tall mountains, because usually ancient cities are found beneath tall mountains in snowy biomes. And this might be a little bit hard to do in an amplified world, seeing as everything is a tall mountain. And now we're loading new chunks, which is always so exciting. Alright, this seems quite the mountainous region inside of the snowy biome, so I think I'm gonna try my luck, make my way down to sea level, or well, just as deep as I can, hold some torches on my offhand, so that it doesn't get too dark, and now we can start digging all the way down. And I'm pretty sure ancient cities are below Y level 0, so I have a long way to go. Alright, we just reached deep slate, but no skulk to be found. And of course we just reached some lava, which is why I'm happy I was mining 2 blocks instead of 1. Let's look a little bit around and see if we find some skulk. Alright, we just entered a water cave, so let's mine our way out of here and I guess keep going forward. And yes, my friends, here's some skulk, finally. Now I do have a hoe, but it's somewhere in the ender chest. So I guess for now we can use our hands. And here's a massive ancient city. Alright, so if I didn't mention this before, I'm not actually gonna fight the warden, of course, cause I have no totems and I'm really bad at fighting in Minecraft. All I wanna do, and the reason why I got the elytra before even doing anything, is just fly inside, break some chests, and then fly outside. So the first order of business is to put down a torch, make this entrance a little bigger, so that we can easily see it when we fly around. And here's a skulk shrieker. I'm very happy there's no skulk sensors around, because otherwise we would have already been on strike 1. Alright, I think it looks pretty bright. If anything, I'm just gonna make it a little longer, so I don't have to worry too much about my speed when flying inside. And now I would love to locate a chest. I see a ton of skulk shriekers, of course next to plenty of skulk sensors, but no chest for now. Let me equip my rockets, and I think there should be enough space in my inventory to do a quick fly through. Alright my friends, wish me luck. Here's the chest, so we can go ahead and break it, take everything inside, and this is honestly so hard to do without sound, so give me 1 second as I put my headphones on. Alright, much better. And my friends, my hands are shaking so much right now. I really don't like being inside of an ancient city. Let me quickly check, we did grab a book, but it's unfortunately just blast protection. So the first thing that I'm gonna do is go back to our little hole, so that I can place down this chest and put all of the items that I do not need inside of it. So now I have plenty of space in my inventory to do this one more time. And I'm pretty sure, my friends, that the warden is very close. And yes, I think we actually spawned it. Let's see if we can make our way out of here, so at least we're not too close. Let's also grab this chest. And these ones right here too. And I think we just spawned 3 wardens, my friends. So we really have to watch out. And my friends, we actually found Swift Sneak 1 and Sweeping Edge 3. But I'm not leaving until I find Swift Sneak 3. So let's keep looking for chests. Alright, here's 2 more. And my inventory is completely full, so let's get back to our little place and put everything that we do not need inside the chest. And off we go looking for some more chests. Here's 1 more. And I think the warden is a little too close for comfort, my friends. So let's wait for this darkness to end and make our way out of here. I think I saw a chest somewhere around here. There it is. But unfortunately wasn't able to get it, because the warden is just everywhere. Alright, I think we're gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way, which is slowly sneaking and see if we can find a chest somewhere on the floor. And now I must admit, I really wish I had night vision. It would make traveling this place so much easier. Alright, let's quickly grab this chest, and unfortunately still no Swift Sneak 3. I must admit we've gotten quite unlucky inside of this world. But hey, as soon as we get it, we can make our way back home and start working on the secret project. And that's quite motivating. And finally, my friends, we got the Swift Sneak 3 and also a ward armor trim, which is really exciting. So now all we have to do is look for our little exit, which should be somewhere around here. Alright, there it is. And we can now leave all the items that we do not need, and of course keep everything that we want to keep. Alright, and I think that's all. So my friends, let me make my way back home, and I'll see you when we get there. And goodbye, warden. And here are my friends, finally back home. So let's find an anvil really quick. And I think that our villager breeder was hit by a lightning, which is a little bit of a shame, but we can fix that later. Alright, I'm just gonna leave everything that I do not need inside of this chest. And now inside of our trading hall, we can take our netherite leggings and add Swift Sneak 3 onto them. And finally, my friends, we can sneak as fast as ever, which is gonna be so helpful in building things. Yeah, this is so fast. I always forget how fast this is. And the reason why I kept the ward armor trim is because we can duplicate it using some cobble deep slate. And of course some diamonds, so we can use the ones we found inside of the end. And just like this, my friends, we can get 8 of those, so that we don't have to worry about running out. And I guess if there's one thing that I really wanna do before starting on the secret project is to grab some copper to make some lightning rods, which we can then add on top of every wooden build. We can put one here, on our trading hall as well, on our main house, and of course our villager breeder. And because all of these houses are made of wood, let's add one on every single house. And hopefully this is gonna prevent these houses from having the same fate as our villager breeder, although I don't really think we need it anymore. But my friends, without any further ado, let's talk about the secret project that we're gonna work on next. And if you saw that coming, congratulations, because the secret project is an insane bartering farm, which requires plenty of items and was actually designed by Logical Geek Boy. So my friends, thank you so much for this amazing design. And what do you say we do a little montage as we gather every single item that we need? Now I swear I was committed on making this a small montage, but when I looked through the footage I really wanted to do something which involves showing you the collection of every single item, mainly because I know that these videos do not make it look like it, but it actually takes a very long time to work on these projects. And hey, if you haven't already, you can always subscribe to the Lonely channel to make it a little less lonely. I, for one, would love to have you around. But yes, I collected so many items, including leaves and redstone and sticks and more wood and composters and ladders, so many weird little items here and there. I was very happy that we also had some leftover blue ice from earlier, so that I didn't have to gather that as well. And of course I cannot make a project without some sand, so I gathered that as well to make some yellow concrete, and I'm using 2 shulker boxes to store all of our items. And I think what really took the longest this time was to collect all of the wood for the chest and the hoppers that we were gonna need. But when I had plenty of stacks of dark oak logs, I was finally able to make all of the chests and all of the hoppers. And here you can see them one by one. Oh, and I also had a very unexpected encounter with some ghasts, but after that I collected some gravel, and the last thing that I needed was some polished blackstone buttons. I finally collected every single item that I needed to build the next farm. Alright my friends, after over an hour gathering all the items that we need, I am happy to say that everything has been successfully gathered inside of these 2 shulker boxes. And when I look at the items like this, it's not actually that much, but this farm is gonna be extremely technical, so what do you say we start the last time lapse of this episode and finally build this epic bartering farm. Alright my friends, let's do this! Here I am, my friends, narrator Lonely, back again as we build this awesome bartering farm. As I mentioned earlier, this design is by Logical Geek Boy, and oh my god, it's amazing. I was following a little schematic for this one, because I really do not trust myself to get redstone correctly, and it made it so much easier and really so much more fun to build. And because of some very complicated redstone mechanics, this farm requires a lot of strange blocks. That's why it took me a lot longer than expected to collect all of the items that I needed. But the funny thing is that building the farm was just 10% of the effort. The other 90% was all put into collecting the piglins. I need exactly 24 piglins inside that little hole to make sure the farm works at full efficiency. And I remember when I first built this farm, back in my other hardcore world, the whole series is on my channel if you'd like to watch that, I saw the issues of having less than 24 piglins, because the gold that was dispensed inside the piglin chamber kept getting thrown out and lost. So this time I wanted to do things correctly and really take my time to gather as many piglins as I possibly could. Although I got a ton of hoglins and a ton of baby piglins, which are completely useless because they steal the gold but they do not trade, I was finally able to get 24 piglins inside a little hole. Oh, and of course, I also had to give them each an item to hold. I decided for little helmets, not only because they're cheap, but because I think they look very cute. And also of course to make sure that they do not despawn. But with the 24 piglins inside their hole, I got rid of the netherite platform and started making some final adjustments to the farm. But with all the blocks gathered, the farm was completely done. And because I think that the top view of these farms looks awesome, here's a little quick video of the whole building process. Look at that block placement. I am happy to say that the 7th and final project of this massive episode is completely finished. I left some awesome videos at the end of this episode to showcase all of the farms in action. So if you'd like to watch them, stay around until then. Welcome back my friends! Here we are, over 1 hour later, and I'm so happy to say that this bartering farm is practically done. I haven't tested it out yet, so hopefully everything works as it should, but before testing it out, I'm missing a couple item frames that I'd love to put on these chests. just so we know what items we're actually gathering. And I need more than half a stack, so we can get our netherite sword, make our way back to the overworld, where a thunderstorm is conveniently waiting for us, so let's sleep it off. I'm very happy I put all the lightning rods around here. Anyways, I'm gonna turn on my hitboxes for now, just so we can look for some glow squids. And if I'm not mistaken, somewhere around here, we should have some caves. Alright, here's one, and hopefully, there we go, we can find some glow squids. So let's gather some glowing sacks and keep looking for more. Here's another cave, so let's see if some glow squids will grace us with their presence. Oh yes. Alright, and I think that 44 should be plenty, so let's make our way back home, where we can grab some sticks, probably gonna have to make some more, and with some leather we can make some item frames, and turn them all into glowing item frames. Alright, so back to the nether we go, and of course back to the bartering farm, where we can grab some stacks of netherrack, to use as item filters, and of course on these chests, I wanna put all the glow item frames. There we go. And I don't wanna forget a little item frame right here, where we can put the gold for all of these piglins. Alright, so the last thing left to do, my friends, is to grab as much gold as we can from the gold farm, of course convert every nugget into gold ingots, and every gold blocks into gold ingots as well. And now, we can put one gold ingot on this item frame, and now fill this chest with gold ingots. And I'm just gonna wait for the chest to be completely empty before starting the farm. Alright, and with the chest completely empty, it's time for the moment of truth, as we flick this lever together and hope that everything works correctly. And 3, 2, 1, let's do this. I'm gonna put my little free cam so we can see everything in detail. Alright, my friends, the items are getting dispensed and pushed all the way to the fire, which is truly incredible. And it does seem like everything is working correctly. Of course, none of these hoppers are filtered. That's because I'd like to collect some items before being able to add all of the filters to these 30 hoppers. But yes, everything looks so good, and I always find it so much fun to look at this bartering farm in action. The amount of items that we get is truly incredible. As you can see, practically all of the front hoppers are already full, and I might just let this run until we finish all of the gold, so we can gather plenty of items, and then it's just a matter of rearranging them into the proper chests. Alright, as this is running, let's see how many items we have. Oh yes, my friends, so beautiful. The question is, yes, we have soul speed 3. I'm gonna grab it right now, because I have plenty of ideas that require soul speed 3, because in one of the next episodes I would love to build a massive storage system, and I would love for it to have soul sand or soul soil on the ground, so that we can move extremely fast around it. It's always fun to run extremely fast in Minecraft. Alright, let me just put soul speed 3 right here inside the ender chest, and we're gonna need some gravel, with some blackstone, with some spectral arrows, nuggets, and some quartz, to be able to put the first item frames. Now we can grab everything else, including crying obsidian, which gives us a beautiful advancement. And with all of these items, we can slowly but surely add all of the filters. This is gonna take some time, my friends, so I'll see you when the filters have been put in place. Alright, and just like that, we completely ran out of gold, but we already got so many items that I had to throw some of them on the ground. Now I'm just reorganizing all of the items inside of their chests, and now we won't have to worry about quartz ever again, nor ender pearls of course, leather, obsidian, crying obsidian, and honestly everything else. And now we can pick all of these shulker boxes up, and the ender chest as well, make our way towards the gold farm, pass through this narrow opening, nailed it, take our soul speed 3, and use these anvils. Or maybe not. I really want soul speed 3 though, and I'm sure we can do it. So let me just gather some enchantments, and we're gonna try this again. First of all, I'm gonna make grindstone, so that we can disenchant our netherite boots, and now with some books and some emeralds, we can gather all of these enchantments, starting with mending, depth strider, protection, unbreaking, feather falling of course, and I think feather falling was the last one. Now I can place this grindstone down, completely disenchant our netherite boots, and now let's see what we can do. They should be in order from the most expensive to the least expensive, so let's try to add them together like this. And there we go. Alright, that was a lot easier than I expected. And now, my friends, we finally have soul speed 3, alongside depth strider, and of course swift sneak on the leggings, to make this truly the best armor in the game. So we can put everything back that we do not need, and I would also love to empty these 2 shulker boxes, so we can free up space for future projects, and they can go back inside of the shulker box chest. So let's sleep the night for a beautiful new Minecraft day, and my friends, what an episode this was. We did so many things, that I think it's worth checking them out one by one last time. Our amazing cactus farm, which produces plenty of cactuses every single hour, and now we won't have to worry about cacti for the rest of the game. And all that cacti in preparation for our slime farm, which turned out to be the biggest slime farm I ever built in Minecraft Hardcore, with a very handy water stream that brings all of the slimes to an awesome collection system. And of course, right underneath the slime farm, we have our massive super smelter, which can smelt 1 stack of items every minute. And then the smelted items are shot all the way up towards our beautiful super smelter build, which I'm very happy with the way that it turned out. And my friends, of course, we have the Hoglin Farm, which helped us not have to worry about food for the rest of the game. Right next to it, the Bartering Farm, which of course we just built, produces plenty of items every single hour and eats up quite a lot of gold too, but not to worry, because next to it we have a giant gold farm, which produces plenty of nuggets every single hour as well. I really cannot wait to have the auto crafting of 1.21 so that we can automatically turn all of these nuggets into gold ingots. And of course, my friends, this doesn't even include the fact that we have so many elytras, Swift Sneak 3, Soul Speed 3, that we defeated the Ender Dragon and freed the end, and of course that we got some sponges by fighting Elder Guardians in Ocean Monuments. And I think that's most of it, if not everything. So well, my friends, I wanna thank you all so very much for watching. Actually, I might do the outro next to our slime farm. Oh yes, much better. Anyways, yeah, I wanna thank you all so very much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this episode and all the projects within. And of course, if you haven't already, my friends, it would mean the world to me if you subscribed. I post content like this very often, and of course I would love to have you around. Let me know in the comments, by the way, which project was your favorite for today. I think mine is by far the slime farm, just because I love the way that it turned out, and I'm very happy with how everything looks. But of course, usefulness-wise, the gold farm and bartering farm have absolutely no competition. But yeah, let me know what you think. In the next episode, we're gonna work on plenty of incredible projects, and if you have some suggestions, let me know down in the comments. Or of course, by joining our lonely Discord. I left a link in the video's description. And lastly, my friends, I also left a link to every single thing that we built in today's episode, in case you wanna build it yourself. I cannot thank all of these creators enough for making Minecraft so much easier for everyone like us. And my friends, you know it, but it's my YouTuber duty to let you know that if you would like to support the channel financially, I left some handy links in the video description. But without any further ado, I wanna wish you all an incredible day. My name is Lonely, you're watching our Lonely Minecraft Hardcore, and I cannot wait to see you very, very soon. Bye bye. And yeah, see you soon indeed. This was a really fun episode to make, but it really took a long time. So I'm sorry if you're waiting for a video every single week. And it was truly a challenge to work on so many projects in just one episode. But when looking back at all of these showcase videos, I'm so happy that we did it. Anyways, here's the Hoglin Farm in action, which I explained a little bit how it works when I was building it, but it's always fun to see it work. And I must say that there's something about Hoglins falling into lava, which may be even more satisfying than collecting sand. So I'll let you enjoy that for a few seconds before moving on to the Cactus Farm. And alright, here we are with the Cactus Farm. It was quite hard to get the right timing for this, because it is nonetheless very slow, and I wanted to get a cactus growing, so I probably AFK'd a lot longer than I wanted to, just to get this little shot. And I've also never built a cactus farm in Minecraft before, so it's really cool to have one in our amplified world. And here it is, my friends, the creme de la creme of this entire episode in my opinion, which is this massive slime farm. Now, I already used a couple slime chunks to make a big slime farm before, but I don't think I've ever used 5. Actually, the last time I tried to use more than 3 chunks to make a slime farm, well, I ended up losing the whole hardcore world. And if you wanna watch that, of course, this series is on the Lonely channel. But what is there to say about this farm, except that it's so efficient that I'm not gonna need slime for the rest of the game. If there's anything that I wish I had done differently when building the farm, was maybe protect the iron golems a little bit, because where they are now, they're very vulnerable to the big slimes. And counting all of the slime balls that this farm produces every hour, it shouldn't really be an issue to replace the iron golems. And of course, I can't talk about the slime farm without talking about the collection system, which you can now see very clearly as the slimes drop down into the water and take damage over time thanks to these magma blocks, and then of course are transported by a second water stream all the way to the collection system, featuring soul campfires, which make sure that the slimes are turned into slime balls, and of course an awesome water elevator, which if you're like me, you probably love to watch these things in action. And the water elevator brings all of our items into a collection system right beside the farm. And now it's time to go underground, right underneath the slime farm, where we built our massive super smelter. As I mentioned earlier, this thing can smelt 64 items every cycle, which is really apparent when smelting plenty of stacks of items. And I try to make sure that every single item transportation that I use is as efficient as possible and of course doesn't lose any item. And this includes the water streams that brings our items to the furnaces, and of course the water elevator, which brings our items from the furnaces to the top of the water. And although it took quite a little bit of fidgeting, these loading and unloading stations are truly amazing. So the minecart with hoppers are able to collect all of the items and distribute them evenly inside every single furnace. Now the only thing I wish I had more of is a reliable source of fuel, so I was thinking maybe in one of the next episodes we can do something about that. And of course my friends, if you have some ideas for what you would like to see in a future episode, let me know down in the comments. At the end of the day, although I love playing Minecraft and making videos, I make these videos for you, and it would be awesome if we're able to play together. And of course I couldn't leave the platform of the super smelter looking like it did, so I had to build a beautiful build around it. This is a combination of blocks that I never really used before, and right now with the copper being completely orange, I don't think it looks particularly great, but as soon as this copper oxidizes, I think it's really gonna complement the darkness of the deep slate very well. And the interior was quite simple, mainly because I'm not really good at interiors in Minecraft, but also because I wanted to have a lot of space to add extra storage if I need to. And really, looking at this thing go is so much fun. If anything, sometimes I'm scared that the super smelter below is so fast that we might lose some items to the speed of the hopper catching them at the end of the water elevator. But for now that hasn't happened, so I cross my finger that it never will. And my friends, of course, this massive gold farm, which is in my opinion really the best source of XP and gold of course in the entire game, simply because it's AFK. I don't have to swing any swords or really do anything. I can just stand in the middle of a block and let the iron golem do all of the hard work for me. If there's one drawback to this farm, which is really not a drawback at all, is that it's probably the loudest farm in the entire game. Because just like many other mobs, the piglins do not really like to fall that big of a distance. But just by turning the sound of the hostile mobs down, this problem is completely fixed, and it's as quiet and peaceful as a nice walk in the forest. And of course, adding that storage system that takes care of all of the items that I do not want for me completely automatically, I think this farm is so much more awesomer, and I can't wait for the autocrafter in 1.21, with which we'll be able to convert all of the nuggets directly into gold ingots, so that I do not even have to do that. Yes, I can be quite lazy sometimes. And of course, talking about gold, I would probably need 6 of the gold farms to keep up with the amount of gold that this bartering farm uses. It's basically 24 gold ingots every 3 to 5 seconds. But I don't think there's any farm in the entire game, aside from maybe the raid farm, which I'm surely gonna build one day, that gives you so many items. With a farm like the bartering farm, we have plenty of useful items, such as blackstone, quartz, nether bricks, ender pearls, obsidian and crying obsidian, string and leather, and of course I can't forget about soul speed 3, which is honestly the main reason I built this farm in the first place, because I have a little idea of what to use soul speed 3 for, but that's for another video. And talking about seeing the farm in action, well, this farm is so much fun to see working, because the items are pushed on the outside, on top of the ice, and slowly grabbed by each hopper. And the unfortunate items that do not need to be collected, such as all of those glass bottles, well, they are all gonna go either inside the fire or inside some dispensers that manage to get rid of them completely safely. But with the bartering farm, my friends, it marks the completion of all of our projects. And I haven't even mentioned the fact that we were able to beat the Elder Guardians, fight Wither Skeletons, to get enough skulls to spawn the Wither, and of course fight that one too. We also beat the Ender Dragon and freed the End, got the Elytra, and braved an ancient city to get Swift Sneak 3, which is also one of my favorite enchantments in the whole game. Wow, I must say my friends, I'm really gonna have a hard time to top the amount of things that we did in this episode in next episode. But if you'd like to know if I was able to do that, well, go ahead and subscribe to the Lonely channel. And while you're down there, you could also like the video, leave a little comment, letting me know your favorite project, and hey, why not share it as well with someone who you think might like it? That would really help me a lot, and show the YouTube gods that despite my name, somebody actually cares. Well, I look forward to see you in the next video, which hopefully is gonna come sooner rather than later. I would love to leave you with a little animation of all the projects that we work on in this episode, and if you're still watching up to now, know that you're really awesome. I think 99% of the people who watch these videos never make it to the end, so if you did, leave me a little comment saying chocolate ice cream, and I know exactly what you mean. Alright, I'll see you soon. Narrator Lonely, signing out.